What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Horror, and welcome back to my Halloween Spooktacular. This is episode 4. Today we are going to be doing yet another tier list. This time we're going to be doing horror movie monsters. And before we get into it, I want to clear something up. I had this video ready. I had the script written. I had this tier list made. And then I went to film it literally an hour ago, and what do you know? Cody Leach, one of the most popular horror movie ranking YouTubers who I personally love and I'm subscribed to, posted this exact same video. So I'm not stealing it. I do have different monsters. I watched his video to make sure it wasn't going to be that similar to mine. I think I have like 50 monsters to go through. So yeah, we're going to be here for a little bit. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so at the tier list, at the top we have Perfect Organism, which is of course in Alien reference, then Monster Among Men, Memorable, Seriously, and
One ugly motherfucker.
So, starting off with, I think, one of the most iconic movie monsters of all time, the Gremlins. Now, there are many different types of these little creatures that run around. You know, you obviously got the ones right after it, Critters, and I think I got Ghoulies down here. But these are just, you can't beat the Gremlins. I'm going to put them in Monster Among Men. Not going to put them up to top tier just because of the rules with these. Like, you know, you can't feed them after midnight. Well, technically every hour of the day is after midnight. So, but still an iconic monster and a fantastic horror movie monster. So up they go. Then we have Critters. And Critters is obviously a ripoff of Gremlins. And, I kind of like that they kind of group up sometimes to become a giant critter ball, but also they don't do that very often. They only do it in one movie. Actually, no, they do it in Critters Attack too. So I'm going to stick them in Seriously because, like, you tried. There's good animatronics. I think that they're also iconic, but yeah, it's just a Gremlins ripoff. Now we have zombies, and I actually have two different versions of zombies on here. The first one I have is the ones from, I think, Dawn of the Dead, but those are just representing the average zombie. When you picture zombies, you picture these guys, and those ones I am going to stick into Monster Among Men. I love zombie movies. It's one of my favorite subgenres of all time. So I love zombies, but I think that there's a better version of zombies, and that is what I have next. These are the 28, I think this is actually 28 weeks later, but the 28 days later zombies, the running zombies. Now, I know these are technically like the infected, but I'm going to put these ones up into Perfect Organism. I think these are terrifying. These running ones, they're the ones that really scare me. You see them in 28 Days Later, Train to Busan, all those movies, so yeah. I think that they're terrifying. Next up, we have a string of 3 monsters that are just absolutely amazing. And Xenomorphs, Perfect Organism. I mean, and we have Predator. This is specifically the Jungle Hunter Predator, but yeah, also going up into Perfect Organism. My favorite monster in any horror movie ever. Actually, besides one that we'll talk about up here pretty quick. But I think Predator is a very, very good monster. One of the most scary, terrifying monsters. Even if he wouldn't really go after me because I'm clearly not a threat to him, still a terrifying design and a super cool monster. So up to the top. Then we have The Thing, and yes, this one's going to follow it up into Perfect Organism. I don't know why all the good ones got put towards the front. Maybe it's just the order that I grabbed these images, but yeah. The Thing is fantastic. I mean, it's terrifying. You literally don't know who the Thing is. Like, it could be the person to your left, it could be your best friend. You don't know, and you really don't know until they transform and probably kill somebody else. Next up, we have werewolves, and I'm gonna be honest, werewolves are one of my favorite subgenres of all time. You thought I was gonna say that they suck. No, werewolves are going up to the top. I love werewolf movies. Ginger Snaps is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love American Werewolf in London. I love The Howling. I just watched Dog Soldiers yesterday. I was very surprised by how much I liked that one as well. The original Wolfman's obviously iconic. He's just thrown into this one as well. Yeah, werewolves are top tier. I always love a good werewolf story. And we got vampires. I do have Dracula on here, but this is just vampires as a whole. And I'm going to stick them into Monsters Among Men. There are very good adaptations of vampires. You got Bram Stoker's Dracula, you got the original Dracula, you got The Lost Boys, you got Fright Night, you got Abigail even, but there are also some very mediocre, meddling, vampire movies, and I personally like it when it's done well, but it's very easy to not do these ones well. I feel like even with some of the not as good werewolf movies, I still find myself having a fun time. So that's just the difference between those two for me. Next up, we have Cujo, and this is our first animal on the list, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Cujo. Not the dog is fine. I don't like the movie. I'm sorry. It was so boring to me. And I'm honestly going to stick him into one ugly MFer. Like, I love dogs, so he's not actually ugly. It's just as far as a movie monster goes, he's so not intimidating. Like, I get it, it's a dog, but, like, it's a dog. Then we have Church from Pet Sematary. And like I just said with Cujo, not very terrifying because it's a cat. It may be a zombie rabid cat, but it's a cat. And here's the thing, I like cats more than dogs. It's the only reason I'm putting it in the one above it. Sorry. Now we have, I wrote the name down because I knew I'd forget it. Valentine from Army of the Dead. This is a zombie tiger. And if you're wondering why this is on the list, because like I'm sure most of you haven't even heard of Army of the Dead, that's just because I freaking love this monster, okay? The fact that nobody's ever really done a zombie animal besides, like, I think there's, like, a zombie deer or something. That is so insane because this zombie tiger is cool as hell. I love this zombie tiger. Obviously, they're not as iconic as the ones in the top tier, but I'm still going to put them in Monsters Among Men. Next up, we have Bruce the Shark from Jaws, and he is obviously going up into Perfect Organism. He made people scared to go to the beach. One of my favorite pastimes, by the way, but obviously I do live in, not going to say it, somewhere where there's a lot of lakes, so I don't have to worry about the ocean and sharks, but I could see how people who live on the ocean in, like, Texas and California and stuff like that would be pretty scared to go in the water after seeing a movie where a shark eats, like, 4 people, so, yeah, terrifying. Next up, we got the Creeper, and I don't like talking about the Jeepers Creepers franchise all that much just because of all the stuff that happened with the director, but the Creeper is one of the most iconic movie monsters. I have to talk about him. So separating him from the filmmaker, the Creeper is a terrifying villain. I'm going to stick him into Monster Among Men. I debated going up to Perfect Organism, but I hate pretty much all the movies except for the first one, but he's so good in that first one that I have to put him up to at least Monster Among Men. Now we have Deadites, and Deadites are different from zombies slightly. They're basically zombies, but they are not zombies. They are I don't know how to describe them. I'm gonna stick them in memorable because they are memorable, and there are some very good Deadites. Like I always think of Alyssa Sutherland in the newest one, Evil Dead Rise, but they've always just felt like zombie ripoffs to me. I know they get to talk, and that's pretty cool every time they get to talk, but yeah, just not one of my personal favorites. Frankenstein's monster. I'm going to stick him up into Monster Among Men. I debated going up to Perfect Organism. He is my favorite Universal monster. Next up, we got Pinhead and the Cenobites. These are all of them just lumped into one. Here's the thing with Pinhead. He's dope, he's iconic, he's memorable, so that's where I'm going to put him. But there's so many bad movies in the Hellraiser franchise where it just seems like it was a completely different script. And they're like, throw Pinhead in a couple of pages of the script. And that's what they do, and just, yeah, it's a slasher movie with Pinhead now. But he is very good in those first 3 or 4 movies and in the remake, so I'm going to put him in memorable. I mean, not just him. This is all the Cenobites, but yeah, I think they're very cool creatures. They're just, they don't usually get used very well. Now we have Sam. This might be a personal one for me that I just freaking love Trick or Treat, but I'm gonna stick Sam up into Perfect Organism. It's a movie about Halloween, and your villain is basically a pumpkin. A pumpkin. He's a pumpkin. He's like a pumpkin alien creature thing, with regenerative healing powers. You know, he gets his arm blown off, he just friggin' pops that sucker back in place, he's back to killing. He has his own set of rules, like if you disrespect Halloween, you're dead. If you then make up for it and respect Halloween again, he'll let you go. So, I love Sam. Now we have Clover, and Clover is obviously from Cloverfield. I like kaiju movies. I don't love them, but I do love Cloverfield, but I am going to say I don't think Clover is all that good. I'm going to put him in seriously. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I was a little bit too harsh on Cujo. I'm going to bring him up. To seriously, but it's just another kaiju monster. Like, there's nothing really distinct about him that makes him stand out. So he's good, and he's effective, but like I said, there's nothing that really makes him stand out. Then we got Jean Jacket from Nope. And this, you obviously, the entire movie, you think it's a UFO, you think it's aliens, and I honestly kind of thought it was going to be an alien movie too. And it is an alien movie, but the alien is what you thought was the ship the whole time. And I think that's a pretty cool reveal. I'm going to stick him in memorable because it's a very memorable reveal, the way he looks in the trailer and the way he looks in the movie, and the way he sucks up people and just grinds them into mulch and then, like, rains blood. So I think he's very cool. Could have been used a little bit better. I'm not the biggest fan of Nope, but yeah, good monster. Next up, we have the Graboids from Tremors. Most people just call them Tremors, but they are called Graboids. Memorable. I think that... No, I'm going to bump him. No, yeah, memorable. Memorable. I'm sticking with memorable. I am not the biggest fan of the Graboids. I think they're pretty unrealistic in some of the things that they do. But they are cool designs. They're cool creatures. They're iconic for a reason. So I am going to put them up in memorable. But obviously... I'm not the biggest fan, but they are memorable. Now, I did separate the two Pennywises because I feel like they're so drastically different that I have to incorporate them as two different characters. So the Tim Curry Pennywise is going to go up to memorable. He is the best part of the 1990 miniseries, and honestly, pretty scary. I think he looks terrifying, maybe, but I just remember watching and being like, yeah, Tim Curry puts in a hell of a performance as Pennywise. So, yeah, putting him up in memorable, but I can't put him much higher. All right, moving on to Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, like I was just talking about. I think he is terrifying, and I used to be terrified of Pennywise when I was younger. Like, I just remember seeing the original trailer and just being traumatized by this guy. So I love Pennywise. He's one of my favorite horror movie monsters of all time. No doubt. Perfect organism. Then we have Gillman, or the creature from the Black Lagoon. Iconic design. I feel like I have to go memorable because he's a freaking Universal monster, but his movie's just so boring that I just don't really care. Now we have the Crawlers from The Descent. I'm gonna stick them in memorable. I like them. They work for their movie. They should have been a one and done thing. I don't know why they decided to do a second Descent movie, but yeah, they should have been a one and done thing. I do really like the Crawlers. I think they're scary, but that's about it. Now we have the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and they are creatures because they are aliens. So yeah, I like the Killer Clowns. They're one of my favorite, like, dumb fun horror movies. I'm gonna stick them in memorable as well. Obviously, you get the standout with Shorty. He's amazing, but I mean, it's fine. It's a fun movie. They're dumb fun clowns. That's about all you get. Now we have Leprechaun, and Leprechaun, as much as this franchise sucks, the Leprechaun isn't the problem. I'm gonna stick him in memorable. He's actually kind of funny sometimes. I love Warwick Davis's performance, and the creature design and makeup is fantastic. So he's a good creature. His movies don't do him any favors. Now we have Ratma, and Ratma I threw on the list because I wanted a few VHS monsters. This one scared me the most out of any VHS monster. I honestly am debating putting it into Perfect Organism. I think I'm still going to stick him in Monster Among Men because he's only in the one segment. He has like a minute of screen time ever, so you can't really put him up that high, but I love him and I think he's terrifying. Then we have, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Lily? Is it Lily? I'll put it on screen if it is. Great monster from the original VHS. This is the only segment in the original VHS I like. I think it's one of the best VHS segments ever, but the visual of her face splitting open is fantastic, and I love that. So I'm gonna stick her in memorable because she's a memorable little creature. Now we have the Death Angels from A Quiet Place, and these are one of the most scary monsters for me in real life because, like, I'm just thinking about how unfair these monsters are. Like, you can't make any noise. How you gonna repopulate the earth? Babies like to cry a lot, so like it just feels so unfair to me. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna stick them into Monster Among Men. They are very intimidating to me. Next up, we have Winnie the Pooh from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And I debated putting the mean one on here, but I felt like I had more to say about Winnie the Pooh. He's going to be our first entry into the bottom. I'm sorry. I know that these movies have their own following. I'm not one of them. I'm sorry. I love the concept of making a horror movie version of or a horror movie version of like our classic Disney characters and stuff. But that's why I love the mean ones so much, because they take so much of what the original Grinch is. And granted, I watched a lot more Grinch than I did Winnie the Pooh, but they take all of these things from the original movie. You get the opening monologue, you get him hating Christmas, you get his heart growing 3 sizes in the end. I love all that about him. This has nothing to do with the original Winnie the Pooh. He doesn't speak. He doesn't say, oh, bother. He doesn't like honey. The only connection he has is the name and Christopher Robin. So I do not like this one at all. Respect to the people making these. They know what audiences want, but I am not one of those people. Next up, we have The Blob, and I've always thought The Blob is cool. I've never seen the movie, but I know the baseline premise, so I'm gonna stick it in memorable. I love The Blob. He's iconic. So now we have Brundlefly, and Brundlefly is going to go up into Monster Among Men. I really like Brundlefly, and he is just so tragic. Like, you get his whole story, the love story with him and Gina Davis, and then he just starts slowly turning into this monster. One of the best body horror movies of all time. So for sure had to put him on the list, and he's iconic. And speaking of body horror, we have Monstro Elizasu from The Substance. And I love Monstro Elizasu. I'm going to stick her up right next to Brundlefly and Monster Among Men. I love this monster so much. It is just the perfect way to end this batshit insane movie. I love The Substance. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, even though it only came out last year. And this is a great monster to end on. Now we have the Djinn, and the Djinn is super memorable. That's about it for me. I don't love the Djinn quite like a lot of people are. I'm not a Wishmaster diehard. I think the original's pretty good. The second one's got some fun to it, but he's memorable. Now we have the Anaconda from Anaconda, and this is another one of those. It's just an animal turned killer. So I personally don't really love the original Anaconda. I don't like any of the Anaconda movies, but it's a killer snake. It's the first of its kind, pretty much. So I'm gonna take it seriously. Like, it's just a snake. That's about it. Now we have Jason Voorhees, and this is the portion of the list where I added it after I made the original list, and then I added some more. And that's because I was like, wait a minute. Jason is kind of a creature, or kind of a zombie, kind of a deadite. He's his own thing. He is a monster, and Jason is my favorite horror villain of all time. So, yeah, he has to go in the top tier. Now we have Pumpkinhead. I think Pumpkinhead is dope, okay? I know, like, his movies are questionable to say the least, but Pumpkinhead is sick. I love him. Godzilla and Kong. And Godzilla, I'm going to stick into Monster Among Men. I really love him. I think he's my favorite kaiju. And Kong is obviously going to go in memorable. Not one of my favorites of all time, but he's memorable. You cannot deny that Kong is memorable. So now we have the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I debated putting Vecna on here, but I think he's still majority of like a person. So I don't know. I felt iffy on that one, but Demogorgon is definitely a creature, and I mean, the first season of Stranger Things just catapulted these into one of the most iconic movie monsters of all time. I'm gonna stick the Demogorgons up into Monster Among Men. They are very iconic, as I just said. And like, you forget how terrifying these are in the original season until they come back in season 4 and you realize how tough of a time Hopper is having trying to kill one of these things. So yeah, I love Demogorgons. Now we have Krampus, and this is not the Krampus, it's not like Santa Claus. This is just the Krampus from the Krampus movie. Seriously, I love this movie. I think it's pretty good, but his tongue, I like. I think it's creepy, and it matches the original, like, drawings, but I don't like his design at all. I think they should have gone more into the goat thing, and he just doesn't look that much like a goat. So now we have the piranhas from Piranha, and these ones I have no problem putting into one ugly, yeah. They're Jaws, but not Jaws. Like, I said I wasn't going to put any other sharks on here, but I feel like I had to put the piranhas on here because they're not sharks. They're piranhas, but it's just Jaws with more nudity. A lot more nudity. Now we have Ghoulies. Unfortunately, they're going to follow in there. I think the Ghoulies are insane. It's a crazy movie, but this is like the third tier of Gremlins ripoffs. So, yeah, down the bottom. Pale Man. I have never seen Pan's Labyrinth, but I have always seen pictures of the Pale Man, and he's terrifying. So I'm going to stick him up into Monster Among Men. He's terrifying. I have never seen the movie, but yeah, he scares me. I mean, the eyes on the hand is one of the most iconic images from that movie, and I just think it's really cool. I don't know how practical the eye hands would be. You got to pick something up and you just freaking blind yourself. So I don't really know the practicality of it. I haven't seen the movie, as I said, so he looks cool. So he's going up there. Now we have the bear from Annihilation. And Annihilation is a very underrated movie. And I think this bear is terrifying. His roar is, oh my god, terrifying. But obviously he's not one of the best monsters of all time. I'm going to stick him in memorable. I remember him. But yeah, not one of the best. Now we have the final 5. These 5 were the ones that I forgot from the list. And I opened up my computer today and it was like, I need them. I need them. One of them I didn't need, I wanted. They were in my head the whole time. And that, actually, we'll just go straight with that one. Frankenhooker. I have Frankenstein on here. Frankenhooker is valid for the list. I love Frankenhooker. Okay, this movie is insane on every single level. Like everything they do in this movie is ramped up to 11. This movie is insane. If you haven't seen Frankenhooker, go watch it. Obviously, if you're okay with nudity, because it's called Frankenhooker, there's nudity. But this movie is just insane, and I love Frankenhooker. Now, granted, she only shows up in like the last 30 minutes, so it's kind of disappointing, but when she shows up, she's great. Monster Among Men, for sure. Now we have The Mummy, and this was the one where I looked at the list and I was like, how did I forget The Mummy? With that being said, this is going to be just all the versions of The Mummy. So for that, I'm going to bring it down to seriously. Now we have The Headless Horseman, and another one where I was like, how did I not think of that? Iconic, obviously. I love Sleepy Hollow, and I think he is a very iconic, like, just Halloween monster in general, so I'm going to stick him up into Monster Among Men. The monster from The Faculty. This is like a tentacle water monster. You can't freaking see what that even is on the picture on the screen. It's too tiny, but it is the monster from The Faculty, and they're memorable. Obviously, you know, not the most memorable because Faculty isn't that well-known of a movie, but I love Faculty, and I think this is a very good monster, so right in the middle there. And finishing it off with Belial. This was one of the other ones where I was like, how did I not put that on the list? So I love Belial. I've only seen the original Basket Case. This is another one of the like super insane movies. Actually, it's by the same guy who did Frankenhooker. So yeah, he makes insane movies. This one's insane. Design looks a little bit crappy. I've looked at the design from 2 and 3, and they look worse. So I'm gonna stick him in memorable, but that's about it, honestly. And that's going to be it for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. So, and you want to see more videos like it in the future. And hit the bell notification to be notified when I post the rest of my Halloween Spooktacular, which, if you guys do not know, is where I post 13 videos throughout the month of October. I used to do it on the first week, where I used to do the first 13 days of October, but that is an impossibility because I actually put effort into my videos now, so I have to take a day to edit it. So pretty much every other day, I'll be releasing a video. So yeah, 13 days throughout October. This is the 4th one, so you got 9 more coming, so stay tuned for that. Hit the bell notification, be notified when I post those, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.